Hey everybody, what's going on? Juan here. Welcome back to the channel. For this video, I'm going to be talking about a video game controller that I have fallen in love with. I recently did an unboxing video including it, and after many hours of gameplay, many hours of experiencing this on the Nintendo Switch, on my PC, and on the PlayStation 3, let's talk about the 8bitdo SN30 Pro Plus controller. This is not the first 8bitdo controller that I have. As a matter of fact, and I should have gotten this, found it. Okay, so this is the previous one that I had. As you can see, it is very similar. They are obviously in style and based on the Super Nintendo controllers, but there's a big omission in this one. It's a little bit too faithful to the original Super Nintendo controller, so when you're playing games extendedly, it does get a little bit cramped up in the hands, but this one is just incredible. So in this video, not only will I be talking about the controller itself, I'm also going to be showcasing some gameplay from games on the Nintendo Switch, on the PS3, and on the PC. But hey, before we keep going, maybe consider hitting that like, subscribe, and notifications bell. And in case you're wondering, why did I want to get this $50 controller, considering the fact that I have a Nintendo Switch Pro controller? Well, the answer is simple. I love the Pro controller. I love almost everything about it, except, and you know where I'm going, the D-pad. I have had situations where the D-pad gets a little bit drifty. Maybe when I want to go down, it slightly jumps up just a little bit. So that was one reason I wanted to have a controller with a better D-pad. The 8bitdo SN30 Pro Plus controller, that's a mouthful. It comes in a really nice thick box that you can safely put the controller away when you're not using it. It comes with its charging cable, and you can connect it with a wide variety of devices, and it does have different inputs that you have to do in order to get this to work with them. Something that makes this controller completely unique in modern day times for video games is that when you turn it to its back and you see these lovely triggers, check these out. These are not digital, these are actual analog controllers, and that is a big deal because most controllers nowadays, when you even slightly start moving them down, they act like you press them all the way down, which means that for racing games and things like that, they don't have that sensitivity that you had on the PlayStation 2, the GameCube, and not only is it compatible with the Nintendo Switch and the PS3, this is also one of the ultimate controllers for emulation on your PC if you're playing games for the Nintendo GameCube and the PS2. The D-pad has to be one of my favorite things about the controller. It's nice and firm. It's not mushy like the cheap controllers out there that it just feels like it's being smushed up as you press it. And the best part is that you can feel the transition when you're going from left, down, and right. Sometimes with other D-pads, you don't actually feel that, and I have had those situations happening with the Switch Pro controller. The battery life on this controller, although great, is not the same as the Switch Pro controller, but I mean that one lasts like 60 to 80 hours. This one runs at about 20 hours. I haven't had an experience where I've run out of batteries. Sometimes I'll just plug it in for a little while because I'm scared that it's eventually going to run out. But I doubt you're going to have a situation where you're playing games online or something and then all of a sudden it's going to say a low battery. But I do have to mention that. And in addition to that, let's say there is a scenario where the battery did run out. Usually on modern controllers and even smartphones, you can no longer swap out the battery, but here you can actually pop the back out, you can take out that rechargeable battery, put in another one, or even put in AA batteries. And I love that because say you have a situation where you're traveling and maybe you don't have a lot of access to be able to charge the controller. Take in a couple of AA batteries and you're good to go. Something else that I love about this controller are the sticks. They have a nice texture around them, which means that you're not going to be slipping away, and in many ways they're pretty much the same or largely the same as this model. But the problem, and this happened to me a lot when I played twin stick shooters, is that because you don't have grips, the fact that you're covering the entire thing up and then you're moving here but you're attacking with this stick did lead to a cramped up experience that I didn't enjoy all that much, and playing with this one, the problem was quickly solved. The buttons on the right side of the controller feel very comfortable, and that to me is a big deal. I'm playing a lot of games on my Xbox One, and even though I love the build quality of the controller, the fact that the buttons pop out, that actually hurts my hands after a while. And although I did not have that problem with the Pro controller on the Nintendo Switch, personally, I'm a really big fan of these ones. One big difference from the previous model and this one is that there is quite a travel distance between the Y button and the start button. I know this sounds like a first world problem. Oh my goodness, people, I gotta actually move my thumb. I gotta exercise my thumb to get to the start button, but it's not up until you actually do it that you realize it is somewhat of a chore. I quickly got adjusted to it. It's not like I'm pausing the game every 5 seconds, but that is something that I had to bring up. Also, if you are planning on getting this to play games on your PC, there is an app that you can download to completely customize every little thing about the controller, including the sensitivity of the triggers. Not bad. But I've babbled on long enough, so I think it is time, ladies and gentlemen, that we showcase some gameplay. So we're going to be putting on the Nintendo Switch and playing one of my favorite games of all time, Dead Cells. But before we play Dead Cells, something that I did do beforehand is I went over to my PC, the PS3, just to make sure everything was working properly, and so I had an idea of what I was going to say. But when I went back to the Switch, it had remembered that I had paired it previously, and you do that on the Switch by holding Start and Y. You will see the lights light up because that's what they do, and you should be good and ready to go. So left, right, it's working just fine, and let us play Dead Cells. And the reason that I chose this game is that I strongly believe that in order to try out a new controller, you want to play the greatest hits, the games that you've played before. I played this game using the Joy-Cons, I played it with the Pro controller, and I actually beat it in normal mode, which is the one that I'm doing now, just so I look like I'm halfway decent at a video game for once. And in real talk, I'm just always going to find an excuse to talk about this game, one of my favorite games of all time. But as you can see, input latency so far seems to be good. I have seen reports about this still having slightly more delay or latency than the Pro controller. As of the recording this video, which is late September, I did do the firmware update. You can get that on the website, and it seemed to make things a little bit better, but honestly, I'm a casual gamer at heart, and I really haven't had a problem with this. So I'm only going to play a couple more seconds, so once again, you appreciate Dead Cells, and if you haven't played it, it's available on Xbox One, pretty much everything on the Switch, PS4. It's so good, so good. I have a signature edition of this. I'm going to sell this. I have a signature edition that is still closed on the PS4 because I've already poured many hours into the Switch version. When it first launched, it was a little bit rough, and I still think it has a couple of frame problems, but it's not horrible. Uh-oh. I'll be real, this is the first time I've seen this. Where am I going? Hey, what's this? This is cool. All right, we got ourselves a couple of upgrades, but this is not a video to play Dead Cells. I think I have, I have a video where I showcase this. Okay, but I'm gonna test out these mad skills, and then we're gonna move on to the PS3. Oh man. Okay, this one's gonna be interesting. Whew. That was nice. Okay, gotta be careful. What? Wait, how do you even get by here? I'm gonna Limp Bizkit this. I'm gonna roll. No! Oh my goodness, okay. This is the best day of my life. I'm recording a gameplay video. I look like I have an idea of what I'm actually trying to... But the next game we're gonna try on the PS3 is Call of Duty Modern Warfare 2. So before I get to Modern Warfare 2, I want to show you how you connect the controller on your PS3. You go to Settings, then you go to Accessory, and then go to Manage Bluetooth Devices. You'll see that you can register a new device. Once you hit Start Scanning, on the controller, you want to hold Start and A, and it should pick it up. Please make me look good. Come on. Pressure's on. Yep, there we go. Wireless controller. You hit X on your PS3 controller, and we registered. The controller should vibrate, so here's my PS3 controller, the 6-axis, and then here is the other one. As you can see, it works just fine. Now, by default, that controller is going to be set to input number 2. If you want to use that as your primary controller, what you want to do is once you go into the game, you hold the PlayStation button, and then you reassign the controllers from 1 to 2. Now, I do got to point out as well, while we have a bunch of black screen stuff, got to take advantage of that, is that there's no PS button on that controller, on the 8bitdo one. So that makes it a little difficult if you want to be able to go back into the main menu, although that's not a problem with the Switch. It does have a built-in home function, so if you want to be able to do that on the Switch, that should be okay. And now that I've stalled long enough, if I press start on this one, yep, there we go. Okay, so it's working just fine. And now we're going to skip to some action. So we're here in the Spec Ops mode, so we can jump right into the action. and the controller layout is the same as it would be in any other game. Now, the 6-axis exclusive stuff should not work for it, so if you're playing a game like Heavenly Sword, I haven't tried it for myself because I don't own it, but that may be a challenge. So it's just something you got to keep an eye out. But fortunately, a lot of games don't have gimmicky controls for the most part, so your mileage may vary depending on which type of game you want to play. So reload. I want to play the story mode of this again, but personally, I will play more on PC. Whenever I play first-person shooters, I much prefer the mouse and keyboard, even though this is not bad. This is serviceable. And I'll be real, another reason that I may be doing this is that the enemy can't shoot me, so I can just do, wah, yeah, look at that. You know what? Boom! The R3 button works. The clicking thing. What am I even saying? But if you want to play some PS3 games and you don't want to have a bunch of clutter happen, I strongly believe that this is an alternative. And I'm doing terrible in this time course, but I'm talking to everybody right now. So please stop pressuring me. I haven't killed any civilians. Oh no, I forgot an enemy. Oh no, where is he? I forgot. I've been talking too much. Oh no! Well, you know what? The civilians... Oh wait a minute, there he is. I totally overlooked him. And... time! I succeeded. I was terrible at it, but I got 1 star. You know what's better than 1 stars? 2 or 3. But you know what's worse? No stars. And I got at least 1 of those. But now I want to switch to another game. We're going to switch over to my computer and play Fight and Rage, just because it's an awesome beat 'em up game, and check it out right now. Before I showcase the gameplay, in case you're wondering, how do you turn the controller on and off in case you want to swap between things or you don't want any of the battery life to be drained? You just hold on to select and start for a couple of seconds, and that'll power it off. So that way, if you want to switch between consoles or something and don't want to accidentally turn something on, that's how you would go about it. But this game, if you haven't seen it or heard about it, just check out the soundtrack. This is an ultimate throwback machine. I played about an hour of this game. You can unlock a ton of different characters, and I'm just going to be Ricardo because he looks pretty awesome. So let's beat him up. And seriously, this is so good. I'm just going to stay quiet for a couple of seconds. You get an idea that I like the controller. Just enjoy this soundtrack. And it's not just about the soundtrack. If you notice, the game has a really nice old school looking filter. It's got like this blue tone across the game. And you can actually change that. So if you want it to look super neon, very vibrant, you can have that. And I love that you have those options there. But the good thing is that I've played games across 3 different platforms, PC, PS3, and the Nintendo Switch. And I'm only using 1 controller. And I think at the end of the day, the convenience factor is most definitely real. But if you want to play something like a first-person shooter or a beat-em-up or like a side-scrolling game, you know, like Dead Cells, all of these are great options. And I think that people are usually afraid to pour a lot of money into controllers when they're not first-party. You know, this is $50. Let's be real. This is not a $20 or something. This is not the old school Matt Catz controller on the PS2. This is $50. And some people would say, well, I mean, if you want to play with a Pro controller, that's fine. I still use that. And I'm not saying that's a bad controller, but it's rare where I found myself playing more with a third-party controller than I have with the main ones. And I have with the 8bitdo SN30 Pro Plus controller. But seriously, aside from that, please play this game. So gang, that has been my review of the 8bitdo SN30 Pro Plus controller. If there's one big gripe that I have about it is shorten the name up. 8bitdo SN30 Pro Plus controller. Say that 10 times, I dare you. But let me know what you think about it in the comment section of the video, as well as if there's any other particular controller that is widely available and compatible with the PS3, the Nintendo Switch. I think in times where we have modern consoles like the PS4 and all that, but you also have some throwback machines. You have so many controllers. So something else, and a big reason as to why you should get something like this, is that instead of having 7 controllers that you got to take care of, maybe you have one, maybe you have two, but it is less clutter and it makes your gaming room look that much better. So if you enjoyed this video, please consider hitting that subscribe button, give me the like, and hit on that notifications bell so you can be notified of when future videos and streams do become available. So up until next time, thank you for watching and supporting, and take care, everybody.
Come on.